Hello, whole nother level. How are you? Happy Thursday. Happy 1 week after conference. All right, so apparently I botched up my assignment on Tuesday, and I've been thinking so much about the party tonight that I forgot about today, but it's still today, so I'm okay, right? So today I'm just on here to introduce me, tell a little bit about my story, and maybe give you a few nuggets along the way. I'm waiting for my daughter to get out of school, so she might pop in and distract me, but man, I gotta fit this in when I can fit this in. I have been busy. How about you guys? I'm trying to share this opportunity with everybody and get everybody invited to the event tonight. So let me know how many people you have coming. Drop your numbers below. And then I'm going to challenge you. It's 2:30 Eastern time, and the party starts at 9 Eastern time. So that gives you a little over, 6.5 hours. Let's see if you can't double those numbers for tonight. So we all know it just takes one, but let's double our efforts and see how many we can get onto that party as our guest tonight. Make sure that you are personally inviting them and asking them. Don't just add them. So anyway, so back to me. I'm Nikki Moore. I'm Ambassador Diamond with the company. My husband Chris and I started 6.5 years ago. Who would have thunk? Never would I have thunk in a million years that we would be doing this long. We're like lifers now. So everybody is stuck with us. Ooh, I gotta pull up really quick. I think I've done this before, a time or two. So we started in August of 2010, and we got started because I wanted to make some extra money. I know a lot of times they say that the women are interested because of the products and the men are get drawn in because of the money. I think I was a man for some reason in the beginning of this business. My cousin is Brandon. Brandon and I are related. His father and my mother are brother sister, and they're two peas in a pod. Let me tell you that much. So we spent a lot of time growing up together. I am a bit older than Brandon. I think 8 years is what we determined. But I remember just loving on that boy and his brother, and then his other brothers came along and his baby sister. And I used to love to go stay with my aunt. And she didn't have a girl yet, so she probably liked having me and helping her with the boys. They have 4 boys and Bailey, right? And so I loved it, and I love spending time with my Aunt Kim. So anyways, but so my mom and dad, and my mom and dad, my aunt and uncle spent a lot of time together. So anyways, they're at the pool at my mom's house one day, and as I'm paddling around with my kids at the time were 5, 3, and 1, I heard Aunt Kim bragging on Denise and Brandon and saying how well they're doing and how much money they're making. And, you know, I'm kind of doing like one of these things, right, rolling my eyes a bit. And, but she said, yeah, I think they're making $20,000 a month or something just crazy. And that stopped me dead in my tracks. Like, they're not making that kind of money. But it was enough to pique my interest. And so I just listened a little bit, and I went over to my husband. I said, I'd like to make an extra $20,000 a month, wouldn't you? And Chris kind of blew me off, and it just stuck with me. I think it was a day or 2 days later, I got a hold of Denise, and I said, hey, can I try one of those wraps? Now, mind you, she's been telling me about it, and she's been asking me about it for years, for 3 years. My husband was a chiropractor. I was a special education teacher. And so she would walk into Chris's office and drop off samples and do all of this kind of stuff. But we kept saying no, because you know what? We were professionals, and we were happy in what we were doing. And at that stage of my life, I was having a baby, nursing a baby, having a baby, nursing a baby, having a baby. You know, my kids nursed until they were about 2, and my kids are 2 years apart. So as you can imagine, my body was not mine. My life was not mine per se. I was the quintessential mommy. I couldn't even leave my kids overnight. So that was who I was back then. Dinner on the table. My house was immaculate, and that's what I prided myself in. So let alone put this business on my plate, there was no way that I could handle that. But I heard about the money, and I was at that point where I was broken down. My husband said no more kids, and I wanted to be home with those babies. So when somebody tells you no or not right now, I want you to maintain a relationship with them and keep in contact. Especially if they don't say no, but they say not right now. Their time might be coming. Unfortunately for Denise, it took her 3 years, but she was also triple diamond at that time. And so I was triple diamond coded to her. So the beauty was in that too. That's where the gift was in there. And so just keep following up with people, maintaining that relationship, because you never know when their time is coming. And that timing, you might really want them in your business right now, but maybe their timing is best for everybody involved, including yourself, to be right now. So anyway, so I jumped in. Hi, honey. I know. We're at school. Side note, we're at school, and this guy's like smoking, which I'm an ex-smoker, so I got nothing against smokers, seriously. But you're doing it at school makes no sense to me. So anyways, Brinley just walked through a cloud of smoke, and she's not happy about it. So I'm just gonna sit here for 1 second. I know you want to go, but I'm gonna finish this. So anyways, so we jumped in. And I met with her, and I had to ask tons of questions. I'm not even green, but I had to know this and that and this and that and this and that. So be patient with people. I remember my husband saying, you don't need to know this. Why are you asking these questions? And I said, if I jump in this business, I'm going to do it. And so I need to know where I'm going. That was my mindset from the get-go. So is your mind set? Is your mind straight? Do you have a clear vision and a purpose and a goal of where you're going? Because you need to get that in your head right now if you don't. If you feel like you're floundering, you are. So set it in stone where you're going to go. My kid's not too inspired by me. So anyways, so decide what you're going to do. And I said, that's if I'm going to do this. So Denise made that decent money, and I think I'm trying to think if she was making more, but around that benchmark. And so I sat down across the table from her, and I looked her in the eye, and I said, I'm going to give you 3 years of this, which you're just getting started as a rap girl, and you're going to commit 3 years. But my husband was a chiropractor. I knew what it took, the investment financially and time-wise, what it took to start up your own business. And you don't get a return on your investment right away at all. So I knew that it was going to take some time. And so I said, I am going to go ahead and give you 3 years to try to make half of that, to try to make $10,000 a month. But my goal is 20. That's my goal, is $20,000. Shoot big, right, Nikki? So all those people on stage at conference, I think they said 500 because I bet some of them have bigger goals. But it's scary to a lot of people who don't have their vision. For those of us who have their vision and know that that's attainable and it's achievable, then it's not scary. But sometimes we bring down our number because of our audience, because we know that they can't handle it, right? So yeah, I got to work, and it took me a month to get to Ruby. I joined in August. I got Ruby in September, and I stayed at Ruby for a long time. I would bring a few in, and a few would walk out. I'd get a couple in, and a few would leave. And I felt like it was that 1 step forward, 2 steps back, or some months I felt like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. That's going to happen in your business. It is going to happen. We are not on this upward climb as much as we would love it to be. There's no company. If you are familiar at all with stocks, if your husband buys and sells stocks, or you do, you'll know that companies do this, and it's okay. It's natural. It's just the way that it is. Everything in life, for the most part, is like that. So don't get discouraged when you have a downward turn for a little bit, or you just hit a speed bump, or you plateau. Know that that's part of your journey, and you can help change that graph if you get to work and find the right people. There's lots of things that you can do to change that, but know that it's going to happen. So it did take me 10 months to get to Diamond, and I was working diligently. I was still teaching, but I was checking messages and email before work, at lunch, after work. I was scheduling as many calls as I could with people. I got a lot of people on the phone whenever I could, at lunchtime or on the way home from work to pick up my kids from daycare, because I had to put my kids in daycare. So that way I knew, or even on the way home from that, because I knew my kids were strapped in their car seats and they couldn't run around like wild banshees, So that's when I chose to do my calls and all that kind of stuff. And then what happened along the way too is I would pick a night or two most of the time, and have my husband help me with the kids. And I'll tell you what, we had some growing pains in our relationship because I was the mommy, like I said, that prided myself on everything. I fed them, I gave baths, I put them to bed, I got them up in the morning and got them dressed. I did all of that. And I was handing over the baton and saying, here you go. He'd say, what's for dinner? I go, I don't know. What are you making? And by the way, the kids need a shower and a bath or whatever tonight, and they need to, you need to put them in bed. I'm doing a wrap party. But it was the way that it was, and it's what we needed to do to grow, and I don't regret 1 second of it. So I hit diamond within 10 months. Double diamond came in 12. I hit triple in like 14 months. I hit presidential in 18 months, and I hit my goal. Denise would text me every paycheck and say, how was your check? And I would send her a sad face. Whether it was $500, whether it was $1,000, $3,000, $10,000, $15,000, $17,000 a month, I would send her these sad faces. Not because I wasn't thankful and happy, but my goal was 20. My goal was 20, and I was not stopping until I got to my goal. And so when I hit my goal, Denise said, that was the first smiley face that you sent me. And I had felt like, oh my gosh, this is it. And then I'm like, all right, let's go for the next one. Let's go for the next benchmark. To me, it was, because there's people involved, don't take this the wrong way at all, because I don't mean it about the people per se, but I think of this as kind of a game. It's a strategy, right? And so how are you going to win the game? You're going to win the game by helping other people win and be successful as well. You're going to win by wrapping people, by getting wrap parties on the books, by getting customers, by bringing people into your organization, and then teaching them to do the same thing. So when I mean game, I don't mean like disregard people, but I mean that's how I wrap my brain around it. Was a strategy, something that was achievable and something that could be done. It wasn't I hope I can do this. I hope that I can be successful. I hope that people like me. I hope that people buy these wraps. I hope that people like these products. I hope that people don't think that this business is a pyramid scheme. None of those thoughts went through my head. They did very, very early on, but I wrapped my brain around the fact that I did not come up with this company. I did not formulate these products. And so if people wanted to trash talk this company, or they wanted to trash talk the products and roll their eyes, I couldn't take it personally, because I certainly can't take the credit for it when it's good either, right? I think if it was my special thing, like that I came up with, then maybe things would be different. But I'm just the messenger in this whole thing. So I think my going away message is just continue to follow up, believe in yourself, know where you're going, have that game plan going, and you're doing good by being in this page, by signing up for this 30-day push. And if this is your second go around, kudos to you, because you are plugging in. And so then the hard part comes in, which we really can't keep track, and we're not keeping track because we're not parents of you in this business. But making sure that you're doing it. You know if you did the activities, and your business will reflect if you did it as well. So there you go. All right, guys, I am so grateful and thankful to be a part of this group with you guys. And make sure that, again, you double your efforts, however many people you have invited to the event tonight. Let's see if you can't double it in the next 6 hours. All right, we'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye-bye.